Hey, welcome to Half the Battle.
You know, next week we'll be talking about Barbecue, the G.I. Joe firefighter.
So, why not take a look at a cartoon episode that features him this week? So, sit back, relax, and let me tell you the tale of the most badass enemy Cobra has ever faced, the Viper.
And appropriately enough, the episode is called The Viper is Coming. We start the episode inside Barbecue's brand new place, an old firehouse he's renovated.
I think this building should be condemned. There's serious metal fatigue in all the load-bearing members. The wiring is substandard. It's completely inadequate for our power needs. And the neighborhood is like a demilitarized zone.
Because, of course, if you're a firefighter, you live in a firehouse. Hey, I wonder if they all do that. Like, does Doc live in an old hospital? Does Airtight live at Axis Chemical? Does Skidmark... You know what? Let's just forget about that last one.
Your living situation should only duplicate your work environment if you're Hugh Hefner.
Anyway, Barbecue is having a housewarming party. Naturally, hilarity ensues. The fun is mercifully interrupted pretty quickly, though, as they get a phone call.
Mr. Barbecue, this is the Viper. The Viper? I couldn't have heard you right. What'd you say? The Viper is coming. 575.
This bizarre call can only be a coded message from Cobra, challenging the Joes to crack the code before they attack.
What, is Cobra Commander the Riddler now?
They figure the 575 numbers are map coordinates. For the South Pole, in fact. Now, I did check this. It took me way too long, but eventually I zeroed in on these exact coordinates. And the cartoon got it exactly right. Kudos. You know, it would have been easy to just put in random numbers in a kid show. So the Joes drive to the South Pole, I guess, because apparently they can do that. So the Joes reach the coordinates and look around to see if, they can find anything. And sure enough, they find a hidden entrance to a Cobra base. A Cobra base that's apparently an R&R base.
What?
What's this?
Welcome to the Cobra Rest and Recreation Base number 3. Volleyball, table tennis, and swimming are available in the Cobra Commander Gymnasium.
A rest and recreation facility in Antarctica. Freaking Antarctica! What? How? Why?
Look, except perhaps the inside of an active volcano, or New Jersey, that's the worst possible place on Earth to build a goddamn day spa! So yeah, the Joes take out the facility. And to be fair to the Cobra troops here, they are somewhat at a disadvantage, having to fight in short shorts. When all is said and done, the director of the recreation facility, who looks so 80s I think I just spontaneously grew shoulder pads, assures them even Cobra wouldn't be stupid enough to send them clues about the location of the base. So, the identity of the nefarious Viper remains a complete mystery. The gang all head back to Barbecue's house, where they get a second phone call.
Yes?
This is the Viper. I come on Friday. West corner.
And here, conclusions are leapt to as they head to West Point.
West Point, the U.S. Military Academy. But why are we checking this place out?
Well, the Viper said west corner, and corner could mean point.
Yeah, that's all sorts of flimsy. I mean, a corner is also a term in soccer, but you don't see them heading to the World Cup, do you? But, sure enough, once they get to West Point, Cobra is already there in force, ready to take the top brass hostage. For some reason, Cobra didn't spot the large amounts of Joes present there, and instead of hilarity, a battle ensues. It's touch and go there for a while, but the Joes end up getting backed up by the West Point cadets. As an aside, I've been told that they actually showed this episode at West Point, to much cheering of the cadets. I don't know if they still do that, but it's a nice idea. I mean, having a bunch of cadets help out the Joes was a nice shout-out, I suppose. And so, Cobra's second evil plot of the day is ruined. Well, a first plot, really. I mean, with the exception of the director's outfit, there really wasn't anything malicious about the rec center. But since nobody at West Point had any idea who the Viper was either, it's back to the firehouse, where the Joes get yet another call.
Hello?
The Viper is coming tomorrow. Top floor first.
Who are you?
The Viper. I am the Viper. Goodbye.
And once again, conclusions are jumped to.
The Viper only said top floor first. Didn't say which top floor or which building.
Well, the extensive tower is the tallest building in the world, so there's no top floor that'll top that one.
I'm just saying, if you go to the highest place on Earth, you'd end up on Mount Everest. By the by, yeah, the Crimson Twins building was loosely modeled on the World Trade Center.
I'm going to ignore that. The comic got weird enough. I don't want the cartoon to go the same way.
Anyway, inside the building, we see the Cobra leaders bickering. Well, bickering more than usual, I mean, because of the Viper. And this scene has confused some people, since the room is destroyed and the Crimson Twin suits are ruined, even though the Joes haven't attacked yet. But it seems pretty obvious to me that Major Blood just put up one hell of a fight before Destro managed to get him into that hilariously misinterpretable position. While they're still bickering, they are alerted that the Joes are outside, just as the Joe team enters the building, and so another fight erupts.
Hello, Joes.
And during the fight, this happens. Really, I don't think that lasers work that way. Still, we should probably celebrate that somebody actually got shot for once.
So the Joes pretty much overwhelm Cobra. Again. And again, they are no closer to finding out the identity of the Viper. And not to sound like a broken record here, but yep, it's back to the damn firehouse again, with the entire Joe team awaiting the next call.
Hello?
Hello, Sydney.
No, but that would have been funny.
This is the Viper. I'll be there noon today. Be ready.
And so the Joes prepare to meet the Viper at last. Finally, we're gonna find out who's the mastermind behind it all. Who could have so much insider info on Cobra? Is it the Baroness? Cobra Commander himself? 80s director guy? Or did the call come from inside the building? Well, we're about to get to the bottom of this once and for all.
On barbecue, I'm the Viper. I've come to wipe your windows. $5.75 an hour. I start on west corner. Top floor first.
What? This is what the episode has been building up to this whole time? That's it. I quit.
Forget ghosts. Forget the entire world's fuel supply being confined to 5 tankers. This is the most bizarre, far-fetched piece of ridiculousness I've ever seen in the cartoon. There are so many ways this plot wouldn't work. I can't even begin to describe them. And
I absolutely love this episode. Seriously, this is one of my favorite episodes from the cartoon series. It's a fun ride the whole way through, and it has a great joke at the end.
also, apart from all that, it was also nice to see a complete reversal of the normal flow of a G.I. Joe episode. Usually, you have Cobra putting an evil plot into action, and the Joe's reaction to it, eventually overcoming the odds and triumphing. Here, Cobra was on the defensive the whole time, and they didn't have a clue what was going on.
I can strongly recommend that you check this episode out. Of course, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't have a couple of nitpicks. I really only have two small problems with the episode.
Firstly, some characters get realistic-looking guns. Footloose has an M16, while the Snow Serpents have AK-47s. This makes sense, as, well, these are the weapons both toys came with. Unfortunately, they insist on having these guns shoot lasers. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm totally on board with the laser thing. It's the price you pay for making a children's cartoon. But they should have just given them the generic-looking laser guns everybody else carries.
My second annoyance was Ace. Though I haven't shown you his scenes in this episode yet, you did catch my Ace review, didn't you? Didn't you? Where I noticed what kind of characterization he had in the cartoon. And it comes out here in spades. No pun intended.
Uh-oh. Looks like Cobra's stealing from the bottom of the deck. I'll cash in their chips. You guys give the Snow Serpents the royal flush. Cobra just went bust.
Poker pun after pun after pun after pun.
We get it! Your name is Ace. You love poker. Well, still, those were the only annoyances. And that's about all I have to say about the cartoon. So, see you next week, everybody. I do have to say though, this Viper guy, his marketing strategy is just about as bad as Microsoft's.
I'm always watching you. No backwards compatibility. Always online. Sometimes online then.